Sup guys, it's Morp again with another video, and today's video is I would be recommending 10 amazing mangas that have not yet been adapted into an anime. And if you like this video, be sure to also check out my recommendations for isekai, romance, and sports mangas, and I'll be putting the links in the description down below. And if you have any suggestions on manga genres, feel free to comment down below. But before we start, please do those YouTube things like subscribe, like, and share this video, and comment as well. I would really appreciate that, and yeah, let's hop onto the video. So first up is we have Jumyo wo Kaitote Morata Ichine Nitsuki Ichimanende, or I sold my life for 10,000 yen per year. Helpless and struggling for cash, 20-year-old Kusunoki sells the last of his possessions to buy food. Noticing his poverty, an old shop owner directs him to a store that supposedly purchases lifespan, time, and health. While not completely believing the man's words, Kusunoki nevertheless finds himself at the address out of desperation and curiosity. Kusunoki is crushed when he finds out the true monetary value of his lifespan, totaling a meager 300,000 yen. Deciding to sell the next 30 years of his life for 10,000 yen per year, Kusunoki is left with only 3 months to live. After heading home with the money, he is greeted by an unexpected visitor, the same store clerk he sold his lifespan to. She introduces herself as Miyagi, the one tasked with the job of serving him until the last 3 days of his life. Jumyo wo Kaitote Morata Ichine Nitsuki Ichimanende follows the remaining 3 months of Kusunoki's life as he confronts lingering regrets from the past and discovers what truly gives life value. Next up is we have Yatsuba to. Yatsuba's daily life is full of adventure. She's energetic, curious, and a bit odd. Odd enough to be called strange by her father as well, as ignorant of many things that even a 5-year-old should know. Because of this, the most ordinary experience can become an adventure for her. As the days progress, she makes new friends and shows those around her that every day can be enjoyable. Next is Watashitachi no Shiawase na Jikan. They wanted to die for their own reasons. Juri Muto is the daughter of a once famous pianist whose career came to an end after giving birth to her. After a traumatic event she experienced as a teenager, Juri has attempted suicide 3 times and has come to hate her mother. With her life clouded due to a dark past, her aunt Monica, a member of the clergy, invites her to visit a convict sentenced to death. Yu is a death row inmate charged with murdering 3 people, leading to many attempts at ending his own life within his jail cell. He frequently receives letters from Monica who hopes to help him, but sees this as an act of pity. But when Yu decides to meet Monica to say that he wants her to stop sending letters, he encounters Juri, a meeting that would change both of their lives. So up next is Chainsaw Man. Denji has a simple dream to live a happy and peaceful life, spending time with the girl he likes. This is a far cry from reality, however, as Denji is forced by the Yakuza into killing devils in order to pay off his crushing debts. Using his pet devil Pochita as a weapon, he is ready to do anything for a bit of cash. Unfortunately, he has outlived his usefulness and is murdered by a devil in contract with the Yakuza. However, in an unexpected turn of events, Pochita merges with Denji's dead body and grants him the powers of a chainsaw devil. Now able to transform parts of his body into chainsaws, a revived Denji uses his new abilities to quickly and brutally dispatch his enemies. Catching the eye of the official devil hunters who arrive at the scene, he is offered work at the Public Safety Bureau as one of them. Now with that means to face even the toughest of enemies, Denji will stop at nothing to achieve his simple teenage dreams. And so up next is we have 20th Century Boys. As the 20th century approaches its end, people all over the world are anxious that the world is changing, and probably not for the better. Kenji Endo is a normal convenience store manager who's just trying to get by, but when he learns that one of his old friends going by the name Donkey has suddenly committed suicide, and that a new cult led by a figure known as Friend is becoming more notorious, Kenji starts to feel that something isn't right. With a few clues left behind by his deceased friend, Kenji realizes that this cult is much more than he ever thought it would be. Not only is this mysterious organization directly targeting him and his childhood friends, but the whole world also faces a grave danger that only the friends have the key to stop. Kenji's simple life of barely making ends meet is flipped upside down when he reunites with his childhood friends, and together they must figure out the truth of how their past is connected to the cult, as the turn of the century could mean the possible end of the world. And so next up is we have Solo Leveling. 10 years ago, the gate appeared and connected the real world with the realm of magic and monsters. To combat these vile beasts, ordinary people received superhuman powers and became known as hunters. 20-year-old Sung Jin-woo is one such hunter, but he is known as the world's weakest, owing to his pathetic power compared to even a measly E rank. Still, he hunts monsters tirelessly in low-rank gates to pay for his mother's medical bills. However, this miserable lifestyle changes when Jin-woo, believing himself to be the only one left to die in a mission gone terribly wrong, awakens in a hospital 3 days later to find a mysterious screen floating in front of him. This quest log demands that Jin-woo completes an unrealistic and intense training program or face an appropriate penalty. Initially reluctant to comply because of the quest's rigor, Jin-woo soon finds that it may just transform him into one of the world's most fearsome hunters. And up next is we have Record of Ragnarok. High above the realm of man, the gods of the world have convened to decide on a single matter, the continued existence of mankind. Under the head of Zeus, the deities of ancient Greece, Norse mythology, and Hinduism, among others, call assembly every 1,000 years to decide the fate of humanity. Because of their unrelenting abuse toward each other and the planet, this time the gods vote unanimously in favor of ending the human race. But before the mandate passes, Brunhild, one of the 13 demigod Valkyries, puts forth an alternate proposal. Rather than annihilating mankind, why not give them a fighting chance and enact Ragnarok, a one-on-one showdown between man and god? Spurred on by the audacity of the challenge, the Divine Council quickly accepts, fully confident that this contest will display the utter might of the gods. To stand a chance against the mighty heavens, Brunhild will need to assemble history's greatest individuals, otherwise the death knell will surely be sounded for mankind. So next is Dead Demons, Dead Destruction. When you look up at the sky, what do you see? A blue sky? Freedom? A hopeful future? The people of Tokyo see none of these. Instead, an ominous alien mothership looms overhead, engulfing the city's skyscape. 3 years ago they came. The arrival of the invaders sparked the greatest war humanity had ever faced, one that threatened to the end of the world. The Japanese government scrambled to fight the invaders. Weapons were mass-produced, sparking controversy and pacifist movements. That day, everything changed, and yet nothing has changed. Koyama, Kadude, and Nakagawa Oran live their final days like they always have, going to school, playing with friends, and doing what any carefree high school girls would do. As they grow up, they come to learn what it truly means to be an adult. In a world where adults seems to be demons who only deceive and destroy, they come to learn the real threat to humanity is not the invaders, but humanity itself. And so up next is Oyasumi Punpun. Punpun Onodera is a normal 11-year-old boy living in Japan. Hopelessly idealistic and romantic, Punpun begins to see his life take a subtle, though nonetheless startling turn to the adult when he meets the new girl in his class, Aiko Tanaka. It is then that the quiet boy learns just how fickle maintaining a relationship can be, and the surmounting difficulties of transitioning from a naive boyhood to a convoluted adulthood. When his father assaults his mother one night, Punpun realizes another thing. Those whom he looked up to were not as impressive as he once thought. As his problems increase, Punpun's once shy demeanor turns into voluntary reclusiveness. Rather than curing him of his problems and conflicting emotions, this merely intensifies them, sending him down the dark path of maturity in this grim coming-of-age saga. And so lastly is we have Vega Bond. In 16th century Japan, Shinmen Takezo is a wild, rough young man in both his appearance and his actions. His aggressive nature has won him the collective reproach and fear of his village, leading him and his best friend Matahachi Honiden to run away in search of something grander than provincial life. The pair enlist in the Toyotomi army, yearning for glory, but when the Toyotomi suffer a crushing defeat at the hands of the Tokugawa clan at the Battle of Sekigahara, the friends barely make it out alive. After the two are separated, Shinmen returns home on a self-appointed mission to notify the Honiden family of Matahachi's survival. He instead finds himself a wanted criminal framed for his friend's supposed murder based on his history of violence. Upon being captured, he is strung up on a tree and left to die. A monk, the distinguished Takwan Soho, takes pity on the devil child, secretly freeing Shinmen and christening him with a new name to avoid pursuit by the authorities, Musashi Miyamoto. Vega Bond is the fictitious retelling of the life of one of Japan's most renowned swordsmen, the sword saint Musashi Miyamoto. His rise from a swordsman with no desire other than to become invisible under the heavens to an enlightened warrior who slowly learns of the importance of close friends, self-reflection, and life itself.